Good afternoon, YouTube. Got a couple of projects that I've done this afternoon, and this is all my mess. Quite a lot of mess for just two things that I've done, but that's okay. I'll clean that up later. Reason I'm in the orchid house today is because it is really horrible weather. It's not particularly cold, but it's raining dull and miserable. So I thought I'd come out here and do some of the projects that I've had in mind. Just a couple of little ones. So the first one is planted up some hyacinth bulbs for next spring. That's just an old casserole pot that we had. My husband drilled some holes in the bottom and I've put some white hyacinths in there. Should have got blue ones really, but we didn't know which pot we were going to use till we got home, but that's okay. White ones will look nice and they should smell gorgeous in here in the orchid house in the spring. That pot next to it there, that's just got anemones in, which I dug up the other day from a part of the garden that we're no longer planting in, and hopefully they'll flower and brighten it up in here. But the main feature is this, and this is called a Kodorama. Translated from Japanese, it means moss ball, and what it is a potless plant, I suppose you could call it. I don't want to tip it up, so I'm turning it around. I've put a hare's foot or rabbit's foot fern in there and used twine to bind it all together. Now apparently the twine, my husband assures me, when I've wet it a few times, it'll go green and it won't be so, prominent. But I really like this. Very easy to make. It is meant to be a sphere, but it ended up flat because I was pressing it down on a flat surface when I was, compacting it all together. And then I thought, well, that's fine because it can go in that sort of flat dish and it would look quite alright in there. And basically what it is, it's a mixture 50-50. You're meant to use bonsai compost, but I didn't have any, but I made up a bit of compost and perlite, and then I used peat. So you're meant to use 50-50 bonsai compost and peat, and you wet it up and you scrunch it into a ball as best you can, and then you get your plant, you take it out the pot, you take as much compost off it as you can, you split your ball, you put your plant down between and you mould it around, trying to keep it into a ball as much as possible. Then you add the moss to the outside and you bind it up with some string. I was going to use fishing line, but I didn't think it would be strong enough. So I ended up using this jute string, which, like I say, my husband assures me will go green and it won't be so prominent. But I thought, what a nice little thing. Very pretty. Apparently very easy to look after. In the winter, you submerge it for 3 or 4 minutes a week, once a week, depending on, how your weather is. And in the summer, obviously, a bit more. I'll keep it misted, so I want to keep the moss alive as much as possible. It did get quite big. I think the reason it got so big is because my moss is what we collect ourselves, and it's a very dense, deep. You see that? Very deep. Didn't want to pull all the backing off because I thought, well, that's what's keeping it alive. So this little ball that I was going to make got bigger and bigger, but I've compressed it all as much as I can. And hopefully it'll do all right. So it's gone a little bit out of shape here, but I've done the best I can. You can mould it around once you've made it up. There you go. Push that down. Yeah. So I'm really pleased with that. So that's that project. While I'm in the orchid house, I'll show you. I've got this double-tiered hanging basket thing, which I intend to put something in. Some orchids at the moment, I've just got those two in there to put something in it, but I need to get some holes drilled in the bottom of those, but That'll be my husband's job, and I intend to put something in there. Might have to drill some holes around the side as well, but that's going to be a risky business, so I've got to persuade my husband to do that. And everything else is looking good. Nothing in flower, everything's still in spike, but it's all looking okay. Nothing's keeled over. Yeah, so that's about it. So please subscribe, like or dislike, and I'll catch up with you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.